India and Pakistan, two nations with a history of war, hatred, and political differences. Nations who share a common history, shared pain, suffering, and ancient cultures. But overall, the love of one thing: cricket. This weekend, they go head-to-head at the Cricket World Cup in Manchester, England. And on today's show, we take a look into the biggest rivalry in sport as more than 1 billion people across the world prepare for Sunday's showdown. I'm Samantha Johnson, and welcome to this special edition of Beyond the Game. On Sunday, more than an eighth of the world's population will have their eyes on Old Trafford Cricket Ground, with both India and Pakistan looking to get one over on their rivals. But at the end of the day, it's not just about cricket. Paul Scott takes us through the intricacies of what the matchup means for the subcontinent.
It's not enough to say that Pakistan and India love the game of cricket.
India, India, India! Pakistan is the most mercurial, unpredictable team in the world.
It's not enough to say it takes on almost religious proportions across both countries.
In India, cricket is not a game, it is a religion. And we are so religious that we will get the World Cup home.
Cricket in India and Pakistan is a way of life, an obsession that crosses boundaries of culture, class, creed and religion. It dominates public life and influences politics. When India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi won re-election last month, one of his most high-profile congratulations came from India's cricket captain, Virat Kohli. Well, Pakistan's current Prime Minister is arguably their greatest ever cricketer, Imran Khan, a man who cast off his career as a cricketing playboy to become the leader of a nuclear weaponized nation that he is today.
Imran Khan, the great Pakistan all-rounder, has combined with Anil Galpat. Glorious stroke there from Imran Khan.
The nation's fortunes rise and fall on the results of a single match. To say this is the biggest game at this year's Cricket World Cup does it little justice. This will be one of the biggest sporting moments of the year.
People are very much excited and they are looking at tickets, but unfortunately they could not find it. And you will both place in very high level pressure. What do you say on that, please?
Last time they played in the World Cup, more than 1 billion people watched. That's as many as the FIFA World Cup final last year, or almost 10 times the amount of people that watched the Super Bowl in the United States. But this isn't about sheer numbers. Instead, like so much in the sporting world, the rivalry begins and is forever influenced by politics.
The fans are so crazy and they want you win too against Pakistan, so little bit extra pressure comes on when you play against the Pakistan, and you have to prove that you are the better side.
Got a big shout out to the Pakistan team. India will come in!
All over the world, wherever Indian Pakistan living, they get involved. I think that's a big thing.
All the cricketers, I'm sure, from both the sides feel that as soon as you start playing the game, it eventually is a game of bat and ball, and that's what you need to focus on.
My answer also the same. I think no difference.
If we go way back to the 19th century, cricket, a British game, was used as a tool of colonisation.
The world may be small, but it's not snowing everywhere. So give me Karachi, where the Australian cricket tourists are playing the Sindh team.
From Manchester to Mumbai, London to Lahore, the sun never set on the British Empire or on the cricket-playing world. But when the partition of British India in 1947 split the region in two, the gentlemanly atmosphere of cricket on the Asian continent went with it. By 1965, off the pitch, the two countries were at war. And again in 1971. Cricket, the one thing they had in common, wasn't played again between the two countries until 1978. In the decades since, most matches have been played in neutral venues. Sharjah and Abu Dhabi in the United Arab Emirates, and even as far afield as Toronto in Canada. But as fate would have it, the ICC always seems to pick them out against each other in major competitions. They follow each other around the competition, just waiting to cut the other down to size. India won their first World Cup in 1983, when the great Kapil Dev guided them to victory. Pakistan wasn't far behind, catapulted by Imran Khan's captaincy and the incredible talent of a truly golden generation in 1992. And since then, the world has watched on as the two fight it out in World Cups across the game's 3 formats. But in Cricket World Cups, when they play each other, India have won 6, Pakistan 0. Cricket hasn't always torn the two nations apart. It's also been used to bring peace. Through the 1990s and early 2000s, there was relative calm between the two nations for an extended period. Cricket became once again a tool for diplomacy. Until cricket began to change. For a game that relied on tradition and antiquity, money began to flow in like never before. The most shining example of this was the Indian Premier League. Cricket's financial revolution saw India effectively control the purse strings and the future of the game. Everyone was about to make a lot of money. But after just one season of IPL action with Pakistani players, politics once again reared its head.
Indian Premier League chairperson Rajiv Shukla has made it clear that there is no possibility of bilateral cricket ties between India and Pakistan unless they get the government's approval.
The Mumbai attacks of 2008, which India squarely blamed Pakistan for, saw a split, which over 10 years on is yet to be repaired. Pakistani players do not play in the T20 domestic showpiece of the IPL. A tournament which brings together the best players has shut out its nearest neighbour. Now the IPL isn't even shown in Pakistan. So here we are, we've reached 2019, but do you think anything looks like it's about to change?
Pakistan says it has shot down 2 Indian aircraft which it claims were over Pakistani airspace.
Calls for revenge across India.
We demand that one life is avenged with 100,000 lives in Pakistan.
Security forces in Indian-administered Kashmir opened fire on villagers trying to stop the arrest of suspected armed separatists.
Not a chance. This match at the World Cup almost didn't happen.
Should India boycott Pakistan at the World Cup, no matter what the cost is?
Kashmir, the region that the two have been fighting for over 50 years, once again flared up. Politics once again dragging sport into the middle of its squabbles, putting at risk this match, this World Cup, and what might be described as a marketeer's dream. As it stands today, the match will be played in front of a packed house at Old Trafford in Manchester, a city that is home to both large Indian and Pakistani communities. Tickets are going for well over $1,000 each as the black market flourishes for a match that could have sold out 10 times over. For the players, the eyes of the world are watching. The pressure of more than half a century of history is on the shoulders of these 22 men. And while they'll try to say it's only a game, one slip, one lapse in concentration, and you'll only ever be remembered for one thing.
So for a huge match, we need a guest of similar quality. And for that, we have the former ICC president and Pakistan captain, Mr. Sahir Abbas. But before we have a little chat with him, let's talk about the great man himself. In 78 test matches, he scored more than 5,000 test runs at an average of just over 44, top scoring with 274 against England in just his second test. In one-day cricket, he was part of World Series cricket, a revolution in the game. He was the first Asian batsman to score 100 first-class centuries and the first batsman to score 3 consecutive centuries in one-day internationals. Now, records like this earned him the nicknames Run Machine and the Asian Bradman, and he was elected as the ICC president in 2015, only the 3rd ex-player to take on that role. And I'm pleased to say that he joins me now from London. Mr. Sahir Abbas, thank you so much for talking to Beyond the Game. Now, the India-Pakistan fixture is historically one of the most intense rivalries in sport. Can you just give us an insight into what it's actually like to play in a game like that?
Well, actually, players, as you know, they just go in and play. But the pressure comes from the public. That could be from Pakistan, and for Indian players, that would be from Indian public. Both the public, both the countries' people, they would love to see their own country winning. as you know, that cricket and in Pakistan and in India also, that is the most famous game. And the people, they love the game. And I can tell you, when this match is on, nobody will be going from one place to another. The roads will be empty. The people will be watching each and every ball, and they would love to see who is going to play well. The main thing is who is going to win. Pakistan has never won against India in the World Cup, so they will try this time. But I can tell you, it will be the match of World Cup.
And one that we are looking forward to. Just to talk about you and your career. Now, on the field, you were a different creature when you played against India. 1,740 runs in 19 tests, 6 centuries and 3 half-centuries. Mentally and physically, how did you prepare for that? You just mentioned that the fans were expecting you to perform, but how did you go into that game?
Well, actually, for me, it was like showing my class, my art to the people. Because most of the people, they will be watching, or they watched you playing while you will be playing against India. And obviously, everybody would like to know, every professional, every countryman, they would like to show extra performance against India. And the thing is, if you think that that is against India or that is against any other country, then you go wrong. The only thing is you have to perform, and if you're performing, you will be famous like all over the world in few hours' time. So that is the most important time. I've never, ever tried that that I will be giving extra, but I will be giving whatever I have to give extra if I can. Otherwise, my own game can tell the world that how I'm doing and how I will be doing. And my scores can tell what I've done after the game.
And this is why you are a legend, sir. Now, in the 90s and the early 2000s, I suppose you could say that that was when the rivalry was at its peak. Do you think that it still carries the same, I don't know, the same significance and prestige it does today?
Well, actually, it is exactly the same thing which, I mean, everybody would be trying. And the point is, all the boys, not just from India, but from Pakistan side also, they are ready to perform for their country. But I can tell you one thing, this is the final, this would be the final of World Cup. And I tell you, last time when we played Champions Trophy, India, they beaten us in the first match, but Pakistan came up. The point is, I know that India at the moment is the best team in the world, no doubt about it, because they have the best batsmen of the world in their team. The bowlers are good, the fielders are very good. But Pakistan can show whatever they have in their sleeve, but at one particular time. And that time will come. I hope that will be against India, and they are really looking forward to play that game as soon as possible against India. The weather is good on that day, so there is no, rain on that day. So we all know that we will be watching the game, because the weather in England now, it's a little bit dicey, rainy, and it's cold. But nobody would like to see this game will be rained off.
Okay, right, Mr. Abbas, if you could just stay there for a second. We've heard all about Pakistan, but what about their opposition? Now, Virat Kohli is the captain and figurehead of an Indian team who are one of the favourites for this year's tournament.
The man with the biggest shoulders in world cricket needs absolutely no introduction to fans of the game. Virat Kohli carries the hopes of hundreds of millions of people whenever he walks onto the pitch. That responsibility increases exponentially in a World Cup year. India's cricket roots can be traced back to 1931.
The Indians believe in going for the bowling. Their captain, the Yuvaraj of Patiala, collecting 40 in half an hour, mostly in sixes. Really bright cricket, in fact. Amar Singh also getting a six. They had to search the grandstand roof for the ball.
India! For the country's fans, it's always been more than just a game. In fact, many would argue it's their staple. People eat, sleep and drink cricket. They place retired star Sachin Tendulkar above almost all things, and increasingly Virat Kohli is being considered on the same pedestal. Kohli enjoys legendary status in India, but the appreciation for his brilliance extends beyond the country's borders. Since bursting onto the international scene in 2008, he's firmly cemented his place in the history books. There are not enough hours in the day to talk about his incredible stats.
When I've done well in the past, again, people have spoken about me. When I haven't done well, I obviously expect them to come out and start saying all sort of things, but very easy to sit at home and write a blog or speak behind the mic.
No doubt Kohli and his men's credentials will be given a stern test at this World Cup. It's been 8 years since they last lifted the trophy. But it's a challenge they're relishing, and the one the world of cricket will enjoy watching.
Okay, so Mr. Abbas, Virat Kohli, considered one of the greats of this decade. How does one man carry the weight of expectation of 1 billion people on his shoulders?
His determination, he's a natural player, and most of the time, whether he's outside or inside, focusing the game. The point is, if that is in your blood, to concentrate and play well, I can tell you, your determination will make you the best in the world. So Rohit, Kohli, I must say, he is the best batsman in the world nowadays. Not nowadays, but he was the best in the world for the past so many years. Everybody would like to see his batting. And Rohit Sharma is also, he has plenty of strokes in him. And I tell you, to watch both of them is treat to watch. They are actually, if you ask me, being a professional, I would love to see their batting because the youngsters can learn. I can also learn, although I've done so much in cricket also. But when I see some of the great shots from both the batsmen, I feel great. I feel very happy.
Okay, one more question, and I kind of do need a quick answer. How crucial is he for India, and how crucial is he for Pakistan to get out cheaply on Sunday?
I tell you what, that will be the day. That will be the day both teams will be looking to play against each other. And it is a very, very important for the players, plus the public of Pakistan all over the world and the public of India all over the world. I can tell you, nobody will be on the road. They will be all watching their own teams, and I hope the best team will win.
Okay, Mr. Abbas, thank you so much for talking to Beyond the Game. It will no doubt be a fiery affair when the two go head-to-head on Sunday. They'll have plenty of supporters, especially as millions of Indians and Pakistanis have made the UK their home. The rivalry extends to daily life as well, and nowhere more than the kitchen. So with that in mind, we sent Lance Santos down to taste the competition with one of the UK's famous chefs, Vivek Singh.
Chef, thanks for having us. This looks incredible. A whole host of ingredients. What's on the menu?
Right, so we're going to do two dishes today, both of which I can safely say both the countries, both India and Pakistan, would stake their claims to. So, you know, we've got a traditional kebab, a melt-in-your-mouth tender lamb galoti kebab, and the other one, again, is a modern Indian take, a cinnamon kitchen classic, I call it.
The English took cricket to India,
Yeah.
and in return, mastered the game. In return, you brought them this wealth of culinary delights. But how has it changed over the years?
You see, the British love and affinity for Indian food goes back, 2, 3, maybe more 100 years ago, Once you get used to, you can't give up.
No.
I call this phenomena of the British love for Indian food as the romance of the Raj, right? It's one of those things they have. I mean, the British gave us a lot. They gave us the postal system, the railways, cricket, of course. In return, I think Indians have given Indian restaurants and the whole phenomenon of going out for a curry
and keeping things spicy. There is a very, very important match this weekend. India.
Yeah, I don't think that. I think for many people from the subcontinent, this is the final, right? This Sunday's game.
So restaurants closed Sunday. Everyone's watching.
In India and Pakistan, I imagine, cricket goes way beyond just a game. It kind of transcends the boundary of actually religion,
Yeah.
It becomes a national holiday if you win. It becomes a national mourning if you lose, It's. I don't think India have lost to Pakistan yet
Not
in a World Cup. Not in a World Cup game. Yeah. So long may it continue from my point of view.
Form doesn't really matter, does it, when you play India?
For both sides this time around, I don't think people will mind whether they win or lose, as long as they've beaten the other side around.
Exactly.
If that was the only game they won, they'll still be welcomed back like heroes.
And what will it be like in India during the matches when India are playing at the Cricket World Cup in the UK? Is there a lot of work being done?
I doubt if there's a lot of work being done on any working day, during World Cup. It doesn't. The whole country comes to a standstill. People take holidays, don't go to office. Inexplicably fall sick. So I've got the crumble kind of done. I may just get you
have a try.
Too little, yeah. Be careful, it's quite hot. Yeah.
Okay. That's incredible. Like a crunchy.
Like a real crunchy crumble, sweet, sour.
And you get the sweetness and then the spice kicks through.
Yeah. But galoti kebab is a tender melt in your mouth kebab. So basically you put the kebab in your mouth and it just goes down straight.
No teeth required dish.
No teeth required. So no resistance, no fight, no bite. Right?
Lovely.
Give it a nice little whir, just mix this whole thing up.
And check this rivalry with Pakistan.
What's the first word that comes to mind with rivalry? Sibling. And it's the fact that they come out of the same stable. You're constantly looking to outdo your sibling, and that's pretty much what it is,
And in this occasion, India's like the big brother at World Cups.
At the moment, yeah.
As it stands.
At the moment, as it stands. Just have a look at this. It's really nice and fleshy and soft.
It's soft in the middle, isn't it? Really soft.
Completely soft and,
It smells incredible as well.
Yeah. Then we've got this wonderful crumble that we made, which is again, slightly sweet and spicy and nutty, and all of that crumble goes on top.
Oh, wow, that looks incredible now.
And then I'd love for you to try.
I'd love to. I can't wait. Yeah.
Yeah. Go on.
So
Try this. Yeah.
Okay. That is stunning.
It's grand, isn't it? It's just really, it's just a riot of texture. So so you take something as classic as an aubergine curry and you could do that. And I think that's what the modern British restaurant scene allows us to do.
Which teams would worry Indian supporters the most at this World Cup?
I think both sort of England and West Indies are the two big threats. I think pace has been the undoing of the Indian batsmen, at least on the last 2, if not 3 tours they've had here.
So, Chef, these two are ready?
So, yeah, they're grand. I mean, they're both the same thing. It's a lamb galoti kebab wrapped in a banana leaf in this case. This is just cooked on its own. It's a naked lamb galoti kebab, if you will call that. Go on, same thing. Just dig in, whichever one catches your fancy.
So what was the sauce again on top?
So that's a smoked paprika raita. So it's like a yogurt with cucumber and smoky paprika.
That's one of the best things I've ever seen. Honestly, that is incredible.
Thank you very much. You're very kind.
It's so soft in the middle.
Yeah, it is.
As you say, it just melts in your mouth.
Yeah.
Before we leave your kitchen, we'll ask you about India v Pakistan.
Yeah.
The massive game, we've talked about it earlier. Does it make you a bit nervous?
Either side supporters, I think, one side will feel that the World Cup is over. I mean, that is just,
It's that drastic.
It is that drastic. There will be people, depending upon the outcome, they'll just switch off the World Cup now. I mean, that's inevitable.
Beat Pakistan and into the final at Lords.
Of course, into the final at Lords.
Virat Kohli becomes a legend. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your time.
Pleasure.
Notice how Lance didn't get his hands dirty. Funny that. Right, that's it for this special edition of Beyond the Game. Thank you so much for watching. Now, if you want to see our features again, head over to our YouTube page, or you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram. And you can see us on our website, trtworld.com. But for now, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.